and welcome back to the Being Grounded podcast. We're on a mission to help you redefine success, become the best version of yourself, and find peace in this fast-paced world. Hi, my name is Molly.
And hi, my name is Fleur.
And in today's episode, we want to do a little bit of a spin-off, a little bit of a different one. We normally love to dive into self-development, but in today's episode, we want to talk about what actually got us here, what actually got us into self-development, a bit about our journey, how we met, our story, just so you guys can get to know us a lot better. And yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into today's episode. Being Grounded podcast.
We'll get there one day. I feel like we should start off by talking about how Molly and I actually met, because I don't think we've ever we've spoken about it a few times on the podcast, but we've never really dived deep into it. But if you know anything about us and our podcast, the one person we always talk about is Tam Kaur. And if you don't know who Tam Kaur is, I think you might actually be living under a rock. Just go on Google, YouTube, search her up, watch her videos, and then you'll know. So we've both been a huge fan of hers for so long. And she came out with Buy Yourself the Damn Flowers a year ago, this time last year. And she had a book signing event. And the first one that she had in London was actually an event that both me and Molly had tickets for, but we didn't know each other at the time, obviously. So we both went. Actually, I went on a solo date, so I went by myself, and then I think, Molly, you went with your...
I went with my sister.
With your family.
Yeah, with my mum, my sister, yeah.
So, yeah, I went on a little solo date. It was one of my first proper solo dates going into London by myself. I actually drove myself to the train station. Then I went all the way to London by myself, was in London by myself, and then I went all the way back home by myself as well, so it was really scary. And I remember when I went there, I was very okay, let's try and make friends. I made friends with this girl, and then when I was actually in the event, I made friends with Molly, and I think one of the first things I actually said to her was your outfit is so cool, you're so beautiful, I
remember you knocked over your glass.
I know, I was actually telling this story, so...
No, because I remember you showing me your YouTube channel. I remember you being I think you said oh, I do YouTube, and I was that's so cool, what's your channel, what's your account? You showed it to me, but you were oh, I've only got, I can't remember how many followers you had.
I think back then I had 200.
It wasn't as many as you had now,
yeah.
But you had quite a decent amount, and you showed me, and I was oh, that's so cool. And I was where are you from? Do you know what I mean? And then I remember you kicked.
Basically we all had these champagne glasses, and it's so funny because I spoke about it again in the recent book signing event I went to, where I was hold on to your glass. I was so nervous to see Tam. I was so excited that I had put it down and I accidentally knocked it over and it literally smashed. Luckily there was no drink left in it, but that just goes to show how anxious and jittery I was. I was I couldn't believe I was seeing her. And I even remember when she came into the room, generally I felt it felt like my whole world had paused for a second, and I was oh my god, I'm in the same room as Tam right now. And I feel if she heard me saying that, she would have a moment where she's oh, but I'm just Tam. I can imagine it would be weird for someone to speak about you in that way, but for looking up to her for so long, being able to finally see her in person was so incredible for me. And she's so beautiful in real life. Obviously she's so beautiful, and you could just feel her energy literally radiating from the walls, and everyone was so nice. I think at the event everyone was so kind.
Mm-hmm. I was so excited to ask her questions. I had things I needed to know about, I think it was content, and I don't know, I just needed to ask her some questions, and she was really helpful. But yeah, she was honestly and even the questions too, because it was a Q&A as well, so when it came to asking her questions, she went into so much depth.
She really did.
And I think I was actually the first person to ask the question. I think I was the first person to put my hand up. She was actually so lovely. And I just think it's so crazy because after that book signing, me and Fleur, obviously, I don't think I even said goodbye to you. I really got around to it.
The funny thing
I
is
was
that
one of the last people.
I had literally made a closer friend to somebody else at the event who I haven't spoken to since the event. But Molly and I, we didn't talk that much at the event. We were next to each other. We were speaking while we were there, but we didn't think that coming out of that event we were going to be best friends, basically.
Friends,
we followed each other on Insta, and that was it. We went our separate ways.
Literally. 'Cause I remember you texted me. I was on the way home on the train. And you texted me. And I think you said like, "Oh, it was so nice to meet you." And do you know what I mean? Like, I think you said something as well. Like, you complimented me like your outfit about my outfit, or
I definitely did,
I don't
because
know
your
what it was,
outfit was
something you-
so good.
oh, thank you. I just remember you complimented me, and then yeah, we just like I didn't even know how the rest is history. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think you just forget how you become so close. But
I
and then
know.
I think we were like,
I don't even really remember how we brought up the idea of having a podcast. Like, I wish that we could like one day we need to
Neither.
like go back and look at our messages, because I mean, obviously what was great about me and Molly like being friends is that we were both content creators, we were both like aspiring YouTubers, and I didn't have anyone else in my life at that time who was doing content creation, and so I felt so like weird, and I felt so like everyone was judging me basically. And even if people weren't, I didn't feel very understood and very seen, because people didn't understand the way that my mind worked. Like, why was I even interested in this? Like, it's too saturated, etc., etc. And I think because of those like negative beliefs, I found it so difficult to stay motivated. But then when I met Molly, and she was literally making so much content. Bear in mind, I was 20 at the time and you were 17, right?
I was 17.
Yeah, so like
yeah,
quite like
I just turned 17.
a few years between us. I was just like finishing uni, and you were like in sixth form, and I just thought it was so crazy how someone could have their life together at 17. And you know what's so funny? As every single time I make a friend, or I meet up with one of my friends. So literally the other day I was with I think I told you how I was like with a friend who I've known since like middle school, like Alice. I know she won't mind me mentioning this. Alice is so lovely. But basically I was mentioning you because she was saying like how she thought it was so cool how I was doing YouTube and the podcast, and I was saying how I don't even remember, but I was mentioning you in some way, and I was like saying that you were 18, and she literally looked at me and she was like, no, she isn't. And I was like, yeah, she is. And she's like, she has her life together at 18. Like every single time, without fail, every time I tell any of my friends, family members, they literally, their mouths like go to the floor. Like they are in shock, because it's so true. I've literally not known anyone who has their life so put together the way that you do. Like I
don't think it's together. Stop.
No, trust me. When you're my age, you're gonna be running a bloody business. So yeah.
No, I don't think it's together. I think I'm just a very old lady inside.
We definitely have like old souls.
I think that's my problem. I think I'm just an old lady inside.
I'm just a little old. I know that's literally like my number one nickname. But yeah, so we just really like hit it off, inspired each other, motivated each other, and then I can't even really like give a timeline of like when we said okay we should have a podcast. But I will say
it was before Christmas.
I think it was around like
September at that point.
September, October time. We went on call because we had gone on call a few times. I think it was just a chat, and then we literally like I was saying, I think I mentioned something about how it would be cool for us to have a podcast, and I remember how I had said that I'd had a drive with my mum and I was thinking about names, and I'd said like being grounded is like a cool name, like we could do like very nature, like greens and stuff like that. And I think that me coming up with that idea like hit it off with you as well, and you were like, oh my god, that's so cool, like I've been coming up with these ideas.
And then so good. I loved it.
We literally like had a notebook and we just wrote down like, this is the audience, like we drew a stick figure and we were like, this is the kind of audience, this is who we want to reach. We came up with like 5 words that defined our podcast. I started like designing our first Being Grounded cover, and obviously now the one that we have is changed.
So good,
like
considering that was just Canva.
I just feel like it just all happened so fast. We were like, okay, you know what, it has to be like at the new year in January, we need to have this podcast start then. So it's been like which is crazy, it's been 8 months of the podcast. It's nearly our 1 year. Like, what the hell?
Fleur, we've nearly had a baby.
A 1 year baby.
Like, nearly grown.
Like, that's insane. So we just knew, we were like, okay,
crazy.
In a few months, like it's a crazy thing to do, but we're gonna do it anyways, and we're gonna film these episodes anyways, and maybe no one's gonna listen. Like even now to this day, like we don't have that many people that listen, but we know like deep down we have our like goals, which obviously we won't like air out, but we have our goals that we keep close to our hearts, and we really focus and we put so much like work into the podcast podcast. And even if there are times where, like, for example, we miss a week or things go wrong, we don't let it get to us and we just keep pursuing it anyways, which I feel like is a great message for if you're trying to pursue a dream. You just have to keep going and know that if things are going badly, it's because God or the universe, whatever it is you believe in, is testing you to see how much you care about that said thing. And I truly believe that Molly and I were meant to meet at that book signing so that we could start a podcast and maybe even a business together one day. Like, it is like the burnt toast theory. Like, what
journal business,
like what happens if
bags,
what happens if
mugs.
One of us didn't actually go to that book signing? Like, imagine one of us was ill or one of us didn't
but that's
make
because
it.
it's just destiny, isn't it?
It's just crazy.
Yeah, but it was destiny. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think like the what ifs even matter, because
I think it was meant to happen.
It happened for a reason, you know?
Yeah, like we were meant
Like,
to be
it's like
there.
destiny.
But yeah, I just think like it just all came together so quickly. And it's like when something is meant to be, I think that the way that things happen will be so quick. So like generally we didn't even have multiple like podcast names. I literally came up with Being Grounded and that was it. We like chose that one. So it was very like it was like a calling for me. Like it came into my head and it was so clear as day, and I was like, no, it has to be this. Like, this feels so right. Like, it feels like if we don't take this name,
I could not imagine it.
like I can't imagine
I
it
couldn't
being
imagine our
anything
podcast
else.
with any other name.
So it just goes to
But
show.
you know what though, like, I think our friendship grew so quickly, and like we became close so quick. Like, I literally remember most days I'd go to college, like I would be voice recording flat on the way, or once I've left I'd be like, so I just left college and now I'm at home.
I did the same
She'd
thing.
be voice recording me because she was in
uni
at the time, so she'd be voice recording. Like, we got so close so quick. Honestly, most people, actually every single person I've spoken to about you has, like, who has met you, for example, has always said that you are just so, like, what's the word, like, you are just such a good person, like, you're such a kind heart. And like, even my mum was saying, yeah, that like she loves you. My mum actually loves you.
My mum loves you.
She really likes you.
That's one sign of a good friendship. Like, if your friend gets on with your parents, like, and if your parents like your friend, it's like
100%.
you're meant to be. But it's so true. Like, I feel the same way about
if you brought home a boy, or like a guy, a man, and your mum didn't like him, would you continue with the relationship?
Now probably no, because I remember when I had brought home my ex, it was sort of the same vibe where it was like my family wasn't sure about him and they grew to love him, but the set off emotion was like, we're not sure about this person. And I just, a rebel teenager, I was like, yeah, I don't care, I love him, like, but Daddy, I love him by Taylor Swift. Like, I didn't care. And I feel like, especially with your first love, even if your family don't approve, you're gonna pursue it anyways because it's like you care about that person. But I feel like if now I was to bring home someone, and especially my mum being like very spiritual, I would trust that. I'd be like, okay, there's something not right here. Like, I'm not going to pursue that, you know.
100%, literally same too. Like, if my mum didn't like him, I don't know, because you know, mums just know, don't they?
Just know, yeah.
And like, they're the mother, their mother, and like we already have intuition anyway. So yeah, 100%. But yeah, so that's off topic. I just wanted to know what you thought.
It's fine. It's a little cozy conversation we have going on here. Like, it doesn't really have a theme. And I feel like for so long, Molly and I thought that we had to have like a big following to be able to talk about ourselves, but I feel like that's kind of sad. Like, maybe there might be one person listening that's like, actually, I would like to know more about their podcast and I would like to know more about who they are. So that's sort of like our story with the podcast. I mean,
our little
there's so much,
little bromance.
There's so much like in the work of how far we've come like recently. I would love to know like how you got into content creation yourself. Now I feel like I'm interviewing you.
I feel like I'm being interviewed. When it came to actually getting into content creation and trying to be a content creator, I think my journey really started when I was younger. So like, I feel like many aspiring or content creators, one thing they would always do when they're younger is pretend to be a YouTuber. That was me. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of 7 Supergirls. I used to always pretend
oh my god,
them.
yes, I remember them.
Do you remember that? And I'd be like, hey guys, this week's theme on SSG is and I'd put on video, and then that kind of like got knocked on the head I'd say. But during lockdown is when I picked it back up again, and what I would do is I would actually upload my videos to my WhatsApp status. So I would like I'd get my phone and record me doing like outfit challenges or makeup or even makeup tutorials or my favourite makeup products, and like any type of content you could think of I used to do, and that would go straight on my WhatsApp status. I wouldn't edit it, I would literally film it like as one. Like I'd film it all in one video, take my time to upload each little section onto my WhatsApp status, right? And I used to get people be like, when's your next video gonna be out?
I love that.
I don't know if they were taking the piss or if they were actual fans, but I was so gassed. I thought I had fans. I was so excited. And throughout the whole of lockdown, I would do this. And then when it come to going back to school, it was when I stopped doing it because I knew I'd probably be bullied. And I actually felt really embarrassed too. And that was kind of a period of life like I just closed off because it's just embarrassing. But now I own that. And when it came to, I'd say, actually starting college is when I gained so much confidence. So I did events management, which was like running events and business and finance and marketing and basically everything business related, including events, is what I would do. So within that I gained so much confidence, and I think it was mainly social confidence in the fact that I'd almost relearned how to like talk to people and be in a social environment, because it required a lot of teamwork. At school, that is something I'd like shudder at. I'd hate working in a team because I think I felt insecure, I felt very socially awkward, socially anxious. Whereas in college is we had to do it, like we had to present in front of the class, and we would present in front of the class so much to the point where like it didn't even bother me, and I can go and speak in front of anyone like in a public way. Doesn't bother me because I've got the practice of it. So because I had that gained confidence is when I was like, you know what, I actually really want to do content creation. I think Tam also really inspired me.
Same here.
I saw her life and she's vlogging and pursuing her goals, and I thought this is what I want to do. This is literally what I want to do, and it's almost like I came back home. It's like I actually came home to myself and came and realised what I have wanted my whole life since I could even remember. So that's when I was like, okay, let's get serious about this. So I started up a TikTok, an Instagram, a YouTube. I didn't really focus on YouTube actually at all until I'd say definitely like the autumn of 2024 is when I started to post on YouTube, and I just would do vlogs. I didn't really take that one very seriously. But on TikTok I'd be posting, Instagram posting. I was not consistent at all. I think I liked the thought of having it, but I also at that same time started up a business. So I did social media marketing. It's called Marketing by Molly, and I would offer social media marketing services to other people. And the first business I did it for was a business called Lazy Daisies. They were a crystal company, and they had a lot of they had like a reasonable amount of followers, but nowhere near as many as they do now. And so it was my job to like increase their following and create content for them, because the woman who owns the business was actually my boss's sister. So we worked together, do you know what I mean? Because she works where I work, so we sort of got to know each other. And I was like, can I do some marketing for you? I'm trying to start up my business. She was like, of course. So we became like close friends, and I would do her marketing for her on her social media, and her followings did increase. And then I even did her website, but I was in front of the camera. So that also gave me the added piece of confidence, because I was being like, this crystal does this and this crystal does that and yada, yada, yada. And then when I became Muslim, I feel like is when my content kind of changed for the better. Changed for the better. Wanting was enough. Like, it really changed for the better, because that is when I almost like unlocked a different market, and I kind of felt a lot more confident in what I was doing. I feel like I had more. Before I became Muslim, I was still confused. I wanted to become Muslim, so I was very like, like posting. I didn't know what to post, and I was a bit like, do you know what I mean, shaky on it. Whereas now, after I became Muslim is when I became more confident. I actually didn't do social media marketing anymore, and I sort of focused on my own content, doing my YouTube channel. The start of this year is when I really started to take it more seriously. I say that, but it's only been within the last few weeks where I've actually posted once a week. So either way, it takes time, and it takes routine to get into that. And obviously, while I was at college doing assignments and exams and stuff like that, I just didn't have the time to put as much energy into it as I wanted to. Whereas now, of course, I've got the podcast, which obviously we started with Fleur. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. But what about you, Fleur?
It's actually like a very similar story. So when I was a kid, I used to not pretend actually, I would actually film videos on my iPad, I think it might have been. I actually came across a few of them recently. They're so cute. One of them, I remember doing like a favorites of like all the favorites I had in my room. I always used to like vlog things, like vlog
So cute.
holidays and stuff like that. And I just was writing books all the time, and I was always aspiring, like whenever I was doing my like skincare, or I guess I didn't really do makeup to be honest, but like whenever I would pretend, I would always look in the mirror and like speak, and I'd be like, okay, the next step I'm going to be doing is this, and then I'm going to be doing this. And to be fair, I feel like everyone has actually had that phase, even if they're not an aspiring content creator. Like I have so many of my friends who have said the same thing, but they don't want to be like YouTubers. And then growing up, I again, like you, had a phase where I was always posting on my Instagram. So not like videos, but like, I kid you not, there'd be like 20 pictures on my story. And people used to, like you, say like they found it so much fun and were always waiting for it. But then I did get a little bit of hate for it, and I had a few people who were ironically my friends, not really, but you know, bullying me for it, and I stopped doing it. And now I don't really post as much, and only recently have I started posting again on my story as much as I want to, and just posting whatever it may be, and not caring too much about what other people have to say about it. But when it comes to like getting into content creation again, so it's actually been 2 years for me that I have been doing content creation. And about 2 years ago, I actually had a dream where I was filming a YouTube video, and it was in my mum's room, and I was wearing a flower top, and I was talking about body dysmorphia. Like, it was a very clear, vivid dream. And I don't remember if it was like an actual dream or more of like a dream that popped into my head. I actually think it was an actual dream, because I woke up the next day and I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, I've never had a dream like this before. That is a sure sign that I need to be doing it. So about a week or two later, which is the first video on my channel, in my mum's room, wearing a flower top, the exact same top.
Did you plan to wear that top or not?
No, I wasn't, but I only wore it because it was in my dream. So I was like, I wasn't even thinking of starting a YouTube channel at that time. Like, it was in my heart. But then when I'd had this dream, I was like, I have to recreate it and I have to do it. So I wore the same like top that was in my dream, because it was a top that I'd had, obviously. And I filmed it on the topic that I was thinking about in my dream, which was body dysmorphia. Like, it's so weird now that I think about it, that the actual video that is on my YouTube is the visual I saw in my dream, like the exact same visual. So it's very much like God has quite literally told me, you have to do this. And I've always wanted to, but it was a clear-cut sign, like, you need to do this. So I started posting videos every week. That here and then, maybe not so much, but I've always been consistent. For the past 2 years, I've been posting one video a week, and every single week I showed up. I didn't have a camera, I didn't have a mic, it was literally on my phone, and I didn't have a tripod, so I was like balancing like 5 boxes, and I had my phone on, and I would just film, and my editing skills weren't that great. And then eventually I managed to have a camera, which I got for my 21st birthday, which is something that I've wanted my whole life, so I was very happy with that. A tripod, a light, and my editing skills are better, and I'm still posting once a week, every single week. And it's just been such a wonderful journey. And like you said, like, I've been so inspired by Tam, and I think that when I see other content creators, I see that kind of life that I've always wanted to live, and I just know that deep down that's the kind of life I'm meant to live. And I've always, like, my whole life, I've always wanted to help people. I went from wanting to work in the back of an ambulance to wanting to be a teacher, to wanting to be a therapist, to wanting to work in an orchestra, to wanting to be an actress. Like, either it was something creative, or it was like, I want to help people. And
yeah,
it's like, I always knew that A, I was meant to be on camera or behind the camera, and B, I was meant to help people. So it's very fitting for me to be doing YouTube. It's something I love. And recently I've been putting a lot of work into my poetry, and I have a fun project which I'm going to be working on soon. So I'll actually link my poetry YouTube channel in the description below. It's where I have all of my, like, I guess you could classify them as short films, my video poems on there. But yeah, just something that I'm like so proud of. Like, I really love content creation. It makes me so happy, and I think that when you work so hard on something, it becomes a part of you. And I post on TikTok. The only thing I will say is that I don't really post anything on Instagram because I'm too nervous to do that. Like how, you know, you post your reels and that on the same that you post on TikTok, you post on Instagram. I don't do that. So my Instagram is very separate to my content creation. Like, it's more of like a personal Instagram. Anyone is allowed to follow it, like it's public. But I have been thinking recently, like, when I do gain a following, do I like just slowly start posting that kind of content on my Instagram?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I feel like you get to reach a wider audience of like people who haven't heard of you before or who have heard of you before. And also I think Instagram pays quite good as well.
Yeah, because I was thinking that, but I wasn't sure whether I should do it on my current Instagram or whether I should make a new one and sort of like, because I was thinking maybe I should make a new one because then it would make me less anxious, but then also I need to fight that anxiety. And if I want to have this kind of lifestyle, that means doing things that are out of my comfort zone. Like, I was speaking to my friend Alice, like I said, and I was meeting up with her, and she said that something that she noticed and found so cool was that I had went from posting my YouTube videos on my close friends on my Instagram to then posting them publicly, and I didn't really think that people would have noticed or cared about that, but she said that she was so proud of me for that because it's such a scary thing. Like, I get a lot of people telling me like, what you do is so cool, like I would never be able to do that, I'm too scared to do that. And it's so true that for so long I was so worried about what people were going to think about me. I literally hid what was making me so happy, and when I was finally open about it, yes, sometimes when I'm posting about it on Instagram I get nervous about what people are going to think, and I know that people will judge me. Like, when you're trying to pursue something, there's always going to be someone who's judging you on the sidelines, but as long as you pursue it anyways, then you are doing yourself service. Like, you're doing yourself justice, you're doing what you were meant to be doing. So yeah, that's my journey. It's going to keep on going.
100%. I love that. That's amazing, Fleur. I'm so proud of you.
And I'm proud of you as well.
I think you've come, like, even just from the time where we've met to now, is like character. Do you know what I mean?
There is
character
so much character development,
character transformation
in like content creation. I've always said to like my parents, like, I feel like I've become a really confident person, which you can probably agree, like talking to a camera and being able to talk to a camera. Like, if we could do that, we could do anything. Like, we could talk to people. So I feel like 100%, it really helps with that.
100%. I love that. That's amazing, because it's funny, isn't it? I'm just thinking, like, we're just literally talking to a camera.
Yeah, I know.
We're just talking to an inanimate object.
Cool, that's insane. Guys, Molly has just left for a second to go take care of her rabbits. I'm so jealous, by the way. So it's just you and me. It's just you and me. What can I say? Well, it's just you and me. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna speak out into the open. I am so proud of how far Molly and I have come over the past 8 months. And if you're watching this and you have something that you want to work on, but you have so much judgment around you and you feel really criticized, which, by the way, we spoke about this in our previous episode, which unfortunately is not on our YouTube. So if you want to go listen to that, then you'll have to go onto the Spotify. But if there is something you so badly want to work on, please just do it. Like, I know it's easier said than done, but not pursuing your dreams is not pursuing your authentic self and not pursuing your true self. And if you so badly want something, like if it almost aches for you not to do that said thing, there is a reason why you want it so bad. And when you are holding yourself back from living that life, you are holding yourself back from the reason why you were even here in the first place, why you were even born on this earth. And that is so sad. Like, if you wouldn't do that to a loved one, if you wouldn't hold someone back from their dream life, why do you do it to yourself just because you're so worried about what other people will think? I promise you, even if it's hard, because it will be hard, I truly believe that all things that we so badly want in our life, like everything that we desire, is not easy to achieve for a reason, because we're meant to grow from it, we're meant to learn things from it, we're meant to progress as a person. That even when it's hard, if you just keep pursuing it and you keep working hard, you will get to that point.
Brings us to the end of this chapter, and yeah, thank you so much for everyone who has. That's it. This is our last episode ever. But
yeah, I was thinking for a second. No, wait, hold up. The end of this chapter.
And anyone who has supported us throughout this journey, thank you so much. It honestly means so much to us, and we can't wait to see how far our podcast goes, grows, and flourishes. And yeah, before we like to end the episode off, we both like to say one thing we're going to be doing this week to help us stay grounded. So, Fleur, do you want to go first?
I am going to be picking up the cello again. Actually, I have been. I played yesterday, so I've been playing the cello since I was 9 years old, but I haven't played in the past 3 while I've been at university. It just wasn't one of my priorities. I also didn't have it on me either, and I've just felt so sad about it recently. And Lovi, one of my favorite artists, just came out with a new album, A Matter of Time. If you haven't listened to it, please go listen to it. It's so good. It's very like jazz, and she plays the cello herself, and so the songs, like the orchestration in the songs, is incredible, and it's really inspired me to get back into playing the cello, because I know how it makes me feel. Like, it's frustrating when you have worked on something for so long in your life and you come off of that hobby and then suddenly you go back to it and you don't know what to do. It feels like you feel like you've limited yourself, and you feel like there's no point even trying. Like, I don't really remember as much as I used to on how to play the cello. Like, it's something I'll never forget. It's like driving or riding a bike. Like, when you learn an instrument, like properly learn it, not just like a year, like when you've spent a good 4 or 5 years learning an instrument, you will never forget how to play it. You'll always know how to read the music, you'll always know how to pick it up and play, but you won't be at the same level. So it's a matter of just getting back into it, and I feel like that's what I'm doing, just coming back to my inner child, going back to all of these like hobbies. Like, I'm currently doing a secret project with my writing as well, so just so many things that I'm bringing back up again, and allowing my inner child to come back up again. But yeah, what about you?
I love that. For me, I am gonna be just taking it chill. Like, stop stressing about life, stop stressing about the future, and just trying to be present in the present moment and do what's right for me now, you know, instead of worrying about the future and stuff like that. I just focus on me right now. So yeah,
we should all be doing that every day.
thanks so much for listening and or watching. We really hope you guys enjoyed, and we can't wait to see you in our next episode. We will leave the links to mine and Fleur's Instagram,
YouTube.
Oh my god, we'll leave the links to mine and Fleur's YouTube in the description box below, the podcast Instagram and the podcast YouTube or Spotify, and we will see you in the next episode.
Both of them.
Bye.
Bye.